All right, this is a headline from CNN. More people looking for but not taking jobs after their unemployment benefits end early. So we got more involvement. And this headline, I'm going to break this down a little bit. 26 states are now ending at least one of the pandemic unemployment benefit programs early. Some are ending the federal unemployment program and then keeping their state program is essentially what's really going on here. So now we're up to 26 states that are doing this. At least 20 have already ceased the federal payment, okay, and plan to do so. The rest of the 50 plan to do so by the end of July. So by the end of July, by what's being reported here, and this could change, but the plans are for all 50 states to end the federal unemployment program. And of course, they're not going to end their state unemployment program. That's not going to happen. So essentially, that's what we're talking about, okay? But here's what the trend is. So you have a lot of people now that are starting to go, uh-oh, the unemployment benefits are going away soon. I'm going to start kicking the tires. So companies in these states are beginning to report an uptick in applications, but not in actual interviews. So they're reaching out to people saying, hey, thanks for the application. We'd love to interview. People aren't doing that. Now, CNN doesn't cover this, but this is why I do what I do for you folks. As a man of the people, I'm going to read the tea leaves for you. Here's what's happening. We have 9.3 million jobs open right now. A lot of options. So while people are beginning to say, okay, I'm thinking about getting back in before the benefits run out, and so I'm going to kick the tires, they're still not jumping in. Why? Because there's so many jobs available. So you got one employer, essentially reporting to CNN, I can't get anybody to actually come in and do an interview, and they can't figure out why. Well, again, 9.3 million jobs. Let's just keep saying that over and over again. There's so many jobs. People are applying, and they're getting a call back, but they're not calling back because they've either found something else they're interested in or they've already got something. Or they just kick the tires and they're not miserable enough yet, Joe, to actually get off the unemployment line. There's a lot of things going on. And I'm going to tell you two other things here. Okay? Two other things. I also think that childcare is a big issue. I mean, let's just think about this. For working parents who went home during the pandemic, whether they were remote workers or they were furloughed or laid off, a pretty pricey part of their budget was eliminated. Childcare. That's a big chunk. So now you got families who are looking at, okay, yes, my unemployment benefits are ending, and so that's a negative, but also if I go back to work, I've got my childcare expenses coming back, and that's a scary thing, and people are trying to navigate that. And I think it's delaying people coming back because they're trying to figure it out. I really think that's true. Some people are going, I'm not even going to come back until the very end because I've got this ping pong match of costs. Losing the benefits, so I got to go to work, but my childcare goes up. Okay, keep the unemployment benefit, keep my childcare costs down. I think when they've got to actually get back to it is driving a lot of this. And what I mean by that is the childcare costs. I think that's a huge factor. And I will also say, and I don't want anybody to scoff at this, because I'm not saying it's a righteous, that the fear is warranted, rather. But I still think a lot of people are afraid to go back because of COVID. Listen, the media spent a year scaring the absolute you-know-what out of people. So it stands to reason if you've been scared to death, not blaming anybody here. I'm not taking a position on COVID. I'm simply saying a lot of people are scared. And they've been scared by the media. So a lot of people don't want to come back to work there, and they're looking for the perfect remote situation. I've been talking about this. People don't want to come back in. Some of my you'd think they were controversial, not controversial, but my Instagram posts, people are going nuts. I don't want to come back to work. Why should I have to? No one said you had to. I just think you're going to need to at some point. But if you look at childcare and not wanting to return back to work, whether a fear of COVID or I just realized that I'm a person who wants to work from home, people are taking longer to actually take jobs, even though employers want them. 9.3 million jobs. So very interesting stuff. Let's go to our friends at ZipRecruiter. The number of job applications submitted the week ending June 19 was up 7.6% in 15% of the states ending benefits in June. So again, applications are starting to tick up, but people aren't necessarily diving in yet. And I think it's for all of those reasons. So here's what I would tell you. At some point, these jobs are going to start to fill. Companies are getting aggressive. They're going to start offering some opportunities. And I just don't want you to wait too long. That would be my only thing, man of the people here. I'm not trying to guilt you. I'm not trying to say that your concerns about working in an office after you found that you really love working at home are unwarranted. No, that's very warranted. If you can get the great work from home gig, hear me say, I'm for that. But to put your family in a tough position financially and maybe put yourself behind in your profession all because you're just like so committed to working from home, I don't think that's wise. But I get childcare and I get the fear in your health and I get that you're going to have to reconcile those things. That's not something I can tell you what to do and how to do it. That's something that's deeply personal. That's your budget. Those are your kids. And that's your health that you've got to reconcile. I'm not going to opine on that. But the reality is a lot of people are waiting and waiting and waiting. And for a while, we're going to see this dearth of jobs that are wide open. But I think it's silly to wait too long.